Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! I have a quick and easy sketch card for you today. So the idea behind sketch cards is to just give you the basics, maybe a basic layout, a couple of measurements, and then you can take that idea and tweak it to your heart's content and make any kind of card you want with it. So hopefully this will inspire you to do just that. This is a really cute set from our new annual catalog, or not annual catalog, spring mini catalog in spring of 2023, depending on when you're watching. If you don't have a demonstrator that you're currently working with and you would like a paper copy of the catalog, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to send you one. And if not, you can check me out here at thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net. You can see all the goodies that Stampin' Up! Has to offer, including our clearance rack and any specials that we have going on, including Celebration, which is January and February 2023, where for every $50 that you spend, you get to select a goodie from a special brochure, and there's lots of fun stuff in that. You're going to see some of that tonight. So this features the Playing in the Rain stamp set and the matching DSP. So I'm not going to use any of the critters, but I'm going to use the rainy day sentiment and these clouds and the umbrella in the stamp. But we will go ahead and get started and you'll see what we do. We're going to do a slightly different version of this card. But I kept the inside simple, figured anyone could write their own message inside. But I just thought, I love this little piggy. I love all the animals in the suite. So let's go ahead and get started. For the base of this card, this is Daffodil Delight. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm gonna fold that down the center and decide which side is gonna be the top of my card, which I think is this one. Now, one of the things with this design, and it's totally up to you, is we're gonna put DSP here on the bottom. Sometimes I think there's too much blank space around the top. It depends where you position this front panel. So if you're like me and you might want to fill in the space, just grab an accent stamp or a floral or something and stamp tone on tone. You can always use different colors if you like, but tone on tone just means you're stamping on Daffodil Delight cardstock with Daffodil Delight ink. So that's what I'm going to do, just to give a little more, fill in a little less blank space. So I have my Daffodil Delight ink pad, and this stamp set is red rubber cling. So it's made of red rubber, it clings to the block, but it has foam built right into it, so I don't need a cushion when I am stamping. Photopolymers are clear and don't have that cushion built in, so I need an extra cushion underneath, but not tonight. So I'm just gonna stamp, looks like I need to re-ink my ink pad a little bit, around just a little bit, and I think that's honestly enough. You probably can't even see too well. Most of the bottom half is going to be covered with the DSP and the other pieces we're putting on, so I just wanted to get some around the edge here to fill in that blank space. So now we will move on, and first up, you will need a piece of Designer Series paper that is 2 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. Now, if you like, you can make this piece of DSP taller, like 2.5 inches. You can really make it as tall as you want. This is just a guideline, like I said, but this is 2 inches. And it is going to cover the width of the card front, so it's 4 1/4. You don't need any special glue for this card. Whatever your favorite glue is just fine. And let me make sure here. Yep, I want that side to be up. I find it easier to swivel my card and use this corner to line things up, because I'd rather it be lined up on this corner than by the fold. There we go. So there's my DSP, and I don't know if you noticed, but it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. I really like it. All the pieces in this Playing in the Rain set have a little bit of shimmer on the DSP. I'll show you more in a little bit. Now next, I have a piece of cardstock. This is Flirty Flamingo. I pulled all my colors today right out of the paper. This is 4 1/4 inches wide as well, same width as the DSP. But you can play with this. Here I'm using 1/2 inch, but I also did some cards where I used 3/4 of an inch. You could probably even go bigger if you wanted. So have some fun and just decide what looks best. On some of my cards, I really felt like the 1/2 inch strip was too narrow, but on others, the 3/4 of an inch was too much. So it just depended on what kind of paper and color scheme I was using. So again, just stamp and seal, nothing special. And you can either butt it right up against the DSP like I did here, and that's designer series paper in case you're not familiar with Stampin' Up. Sometimes I forget and just rattle off my abbreviations. DSP is designer series paper, and it's just your beautiful printed paper. But you can always layer if you want to put that cardstock strip a little bit over the seam of the DSP, you could do that as well. Next, we have another panel of DSP. This one is 3 inches wide and 4 inches tall. And let's see, I'm going to turn it so my raindrops are floating down and not up. But again, a little bit of shimmer and shine here, which I really like. I'm going to put this on flat as well, and then we'll start adding some dimension here in a moment. And it's up to you how close to the top you get. You could put your panel all the way at the top. You could move it all the way down to the bottom. You can put it in the middle. Whatever floats your boat. And then a little press there. Next up, you need a small panel for your sentiment. Now you could use a rectangle. You can use a stitched rectangle, a circle. You can experiment with shapes. Maybe you don't want to put a sentiment on the front, and that's fine too. So whatever you like as far as sentiment goes and with your design. So I'm going to take this little stitched rectangle. It is from our stitched rectangle die set, and I love it because I should really count them. Actually, I have it handy here. Let me see. There are 13 different rectangle stitch dies in here. Now I'm missing one because I lost it somewhere. And I'm really bummed because it was one I used a lot. But look at all these beautiful rectangles. And I think this one is the one that I used tonight. But these come in very, very handy if you've got a die cutting machine. So those are rectangle stitched dies. Okay. Basic black ink. This is actually it's not basic black, it's tuxedo black. This is our Memento ink. This is great for using with our alcohol markers, our Stampin' Blends. And it's my go-to black ink. And I just wanted something a little bit darker to make sure my sentiment showed up nice and crisp. And let's see here, I think I'm gonna stamp right in the center. And I say that because on one of the other cards I made using the same stamp set, I had to hedge a little bit towards one side. I'll show you that one in a minute when we're done. All right, so there's my sentiment panel. And this DSP has some really fun images. 3 of them actually match the turtle, fox, and bunny that are in the stamp set. And then we have a couple others that are different. For example, this little dancing puppy dog. If you're of my generation or older, you might remember the book Harry the Dirty Dog. And this just makes me think of him because he kind of looked like that. So I think he's adorable. So I'm going to I fussy cut him out. There was no die for him, so I took my paper snip scissors and cut him out. And I'm going to take a look here and decide, where do I want him to go? Where do I want to put my sentiment? I could have any kind of arrangement here. Let's see, sentiment at the top. Maybe I want him dancing on the sentiment. I'm not really digging that one. Maybe he should go over here. I think I might do that. Let's see. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna go with this one. This one's speaking to me tonight. So, like I said, this is just a guideline so you can design your card however you like. Hopefully you're not screaming at me to do another way. All right, so there is my sentiment panel. I could have popped that on dimensionals, but I decided to keep that flat. And I'm gonna put this little guy on dimensionals. And we have two sizes, our regular dimensionals and our minis. I'm going to use my minis for this fella. And I want one more. Now they're all sticking together. So once I peel the backing off the dimensionals and toss them in my trash bin, there we go. I think I'll put him here. And I'm going to add a little bit of bling just to jazz it up a little bit. My dimensional backings are trying to hang out with me tonight. So I thought these pastel adhesive back sequins were perfect to go with this card, and I was delighted when I opened the pack because it's 2 sheets. I didn't realize that they were nestled so snug together. I just thought they looked interesting, and it's actually small ones and large ones, so you get a lot of sequins. So I was excited, and I really like these blue ones. They're probably balmy blue. I don't know that it says. It probably says in the catalog, but most of the cards I did this evening have these blue sequins on them. So there we go. I think I like that. So quick and simple, lots of avenues for you to pursue. You know what? I'm not done. I didn't do the inside. Good grief, I'm falling apart. I got distracted by my bling. So I'm keeping the inside really simple here. I'm gonna bring back my scrap paper for just a minute. I have a panel of basic white. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And for the inside, I decided not to put a sentiment. I'm just going to leave it blank, so a message could be written of any kind, but I don't like totally naked inserts. So some little blue clouds there. And then we have a really darling umbrella stamp. So I'm gonna do Flirty Flamingo to coordinate with that cardstock strip on the front. Like that. So there's my inside. And then while I've got all my stamps open, gotta jazz up the envelope just a little bit, right? No naked envelopes either. So there's my envelope. Here is my insert. And all I need to do now is grab my stamp and seal. Put a little bit on here. This goes on the inside of the card, and then it will be ready to be filled out and sent off in the mail. Really cute, huh? Sweet and simple sketch card. Now I have some more cards in this same suite to show you because I couldn't decide which was my favorite. So I have, in the same color scheme, our little piggy friend. And so here's a perfect example of how you can arrange your sentiments and if you want a little focal image any way you like. And I also have one other in a different color scheme, but using the same paper and idea. And there is our little bunny. So love them all. Couldn't decide which is my favorite. And I don't know if you have this problem, but a lot of times I love the cards I make so much I don't want to get rid of them. Sometimes it's hard to part with. Does anybody else have that trouble? All right, so I have some more samples to show you. So this is definitely a great idea for a cutesy card. You can do cutesy, you can do classic. So here's some more cutesy ideas. This is our On the Farm stamp set, and one of the items in the celebration that is currently going on, the matching On the Farm DSP. Here, instead of a die cut shape or a punch, I just used a rectangular panel of basic white, and I stamped my sentiment, but I also added a little extra to it. So fun there. Another cutesy one, I've been using these love cats a whole lot lately. And so I love hanging out with you. And then head over heels about you. So more of a classic paper, but a cutesy stamp. And here I went with a circle instead of a rectangle or square. And you can actually skip them all together If you like stepping into the classic section for a minute, this is actually the first card I did in this design, and I was so excited by how it was coming together. I forgot my sentiment label altogether. So I ended up stamping here on the top of the card and leaving off any other kind of label, and I really like the way it looks. And then I used our Plentiful Plants stamp set and the matching dies to cut that out. And then here is the inside. You can also change the orientation of the card and do it more horizontally if you like. Be careful with your paper, and this might not work for every design. I thought about it with some of the others and it just wasn't coming together. This one, where I focused more on the paper and a simple label, was a little better suited, but definitely have some fun playing here. So this card opens sideways. I just kept a simple DSP strip on the inside, and then really focused the DSP. I went with a wider strip here and a darker accent. And then I really like this paper, so I actually kept my envelope flap in theme with it as well. This is some of our celebration paper, free with a $50 purchase. And then last but not least, one of our free celebration stamp sets that is free with a $50 purchase is our Thanks a Bunch, which is a bunch of carrots. And rather than go with your typical orange carrots, I went with purple to pull out the little purple dots you almost can't see, but this piece of paper has some purple polka dots, so I really thought that went well together. It kind of popped, just pulled those colors out, and I thought was very sweet with a little simple stamped image inside, and carried that forward on my envelope as well. So you can see how you can take this idea and run with it. And so I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make this simple sketch card. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. You can click the notification bell and you'll get a little alert each time a video is posted here on the page. You're also welcome to follow me on Facebook. I share different projects and different things that Stampin' Up! Has going on if you'd like to tune in over there. I'd be happy to have you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.